Welcome, traveler. You have entered the realm of adventure. Prepare yourself for tales from beyond the dice.
Welcome back. We play role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and more. Anyway, let's get to the adventure. I'm your Dungeon Master Luke, and your players are...
Levi, and I'm playing Lokag.
We do not see the tall, glossy skyscrapers of New Ettica. We don't see the dark, dank streets of Darkhaven. What we do see is dusty, orange sand. Sharp rocks and outcroppings. The camera zooms down a valley. These two walls of this canyon-like stone. Wind is blowing. Dust is being picked up. And we see a town. This is not a normal town by the standards of New Ettica. This is a scrap heap, almost. There is an old aeroplane that is broken in half, laying across this town with shanties and shacks and satellite dishes, old windmills and water towers, cranes that are bent over and holding signs that read out in flickering, buzzing lights various businesses or watering holes that are in this small town. An old van or old bus with rounded edges has a little canopy over the side of it, people sitting underneath it on an old couch, and some goblin children playing in the dirt, fighting with what looks like old aerials off of a car. And then we see this building. It says Sheriff Office, spelt with cut off bits of sign. Road signs, advertising signs. They've all been welded together in a large sign, and there's a star of half broken and bursted yellow globes that are buzzing and flickering next to this sign. And inside this building is Dune, the sheriff. He's wearing a thrown together but neat sheriff outfit. This jacket, it's got a golden badge on there that looks like it's been hammered together with some scrap metal. At his waist there are these bandoliers of bullets and 2 revolvers. He pushes down the fluffy woolen neck piece of his jacket as he knocks on a door. And on the door it says Lokag's room. So you hear this knocking.
Hey dude, what's up?
Brother, I have been summoned by that tiny little gnome man, that, Lorian, who came past the town but 2 days ago. He has offered me a proposition to help him on some sort of important mission now. It involves a very rare and powerful magical item which he wishes to collect, and if we can help him, he will help our town. I feel that it is a perfect trade. He and his organization have some things that we could do well in Barry's Well. These items he's willing to trade for my assistance. Now, Lokag, I need you to take care of things around here. I could be gone for a few days. So, please, keep an eye on things for me, brother. Now come here.
Walk out of my rooms.
He embraces you in this tight hug and holds you, patting you on the back.
Now, Lokag, please, don't drink all day at the watering hole. I know you don't usually do it, but things tend to become quite wily, and we don't want the people thinking that you're a pushover, if you know what I mean.
I ain't no pushover, Dune. No one will think that.
I know you're not. I just want to make sure because you're my deputy and you're in charge of the town. Besides the boss, he's obviously in charge, but you are safeguarding these people, and you have to be their defender and their sentinel.
He pats you on the shoulder.
If I'm going to be their defender and their sentinel, just till you're back, can I have your badge?
I thought you were going to ask this, and I went and had one made for you.
He pulls it out of his jacket pocket and he hands it, puts it in your hand, pats on your hand with the star in there, which is once again just like a bunch of scrap that's been welded together to look like a star.
I'll pick it up, bring it like 2 feet away from my face, and just stare at it with a half smile on my face. And then I give Dune another hug.
Oh,
brother,
don't squeeze so hard.
I'll look after this town. You don't have to worry about this place. It'll be well and truly safe under my care. I'll only spend like half the day in the pub. I'll be good. You'll be honoured by me.
You do what you will. Just be vigilant.
And he picks up his shotgun, places it in the holster on his back, picks up his rucksack, throws it over his shoulder, walks outside, climbs onto his large trike, his big 3-wheeled motorbike, starts it up, and turns to you and he says,
I'll see you soon.
and revs it and flies off down the street.
I salute.
All of the kids come out and they start shouting and they look to you, seeing you saluting there, and they all salute to the sheriff as he rides out of the front of the town. What do you want to do?
I'm going to walk back into my room. I'm going to go to the top of my cupboard, and there is a dusty old hat. On the hat, there is a bottle cap with a pin through it. I look at the bottle cap, look it up. You served me well, Cap, but now I've got a true badge to put in your place. Take the bottle cap off, just throw it on the ground, and I put the sheriff's badge onto my hat, snug it onto my head, and puff my chest out.
What sort of hat is this? Is this like a cap or like a...
How do I describe it?
Is it an
Akubra. A dusty brown Akubra.
Yes, nice, of course. So you leave your home / sheriff's office and you walk out into the main street. And there are, small like tuk-tuk cars that are just putting along. On the back, there is a little goblin who is cooking up some sort of meat, and his brother driving the vehicles that slowly goes and stops out the front of one of the other buildings.
I walk over to the street meat seller.
Oh, Lokag. What's going on, mate? What's happening, brother?
I've been promoted. I'm your new sheriff for the next couple of days.
Oh, mate, that's bloody awesome, brother. That's a nice hat.
And the other goblin who was driving turns around and he goes,
You don't have to wear it, You don't have to wear that hat.
It's a bloody nice hat, and I know, but I get to. How about you selling your new sheriff one of those street meats? The juicy one in the back looks about right.
Okay. Look, sure.
Oh, yeah, mate, you can have it on the house.
Nah. I'll pay. What do I owe you?
That's gonna be like 2 small bullets. Don't give me any large ones, that's fine. Just 2 small bullets. I'll give you a discount, mate.
Look in one pocket, there's like rifle slugs. Check in the other one. Yeah. And I hand him over some pistol bullets. Cheers, mate.
tucks it in his pocket.
No problem.
He passes you 2 sticks, and there's like what looks like a large tail of some sort. There are some little hairs on it, and the other one is like maybe like a tentacle. They're both like pretty char-grilled, and the tentacle is still dripping with some ooze.
I'll eat the tentacle first, and I'll just bite through stick and all. Oh, you just know how to cook these so well.
Yeah, mate, I've spent a long time perfecting the perfect recipe. I just got to make sure they don't sit out in the sun for too long. Because you know what happens when stuff sits out in the sun for too long? It gets burnt.
And then the other goblin turns around and goes,
Nothing could be more burnt than what you've already cooked.
and then they start to bicker.
Oh, well, if there's any trouble, let me know. I'll see you around town, boys.
No problem, mate.
I'm going to start wandering I'll go to the governor's place.
Alright, you go to this structure, and it is an old donut building. On the roof, there's this half-broken donut. It's got like pink frosting with all these white sort of specks on it. All the paint is peeling away. All the windows have been sort of boarded up, except the ones on the very front, which have some like nice curtains. And there are some of the like the town guard. These guard, they work with you, but they don't work for the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office is Dune and the 2 deputies, one being you and one being your halfling mate. The guards, one's a full-blood orc, the other one is an elf. Sort of like cross their arms and nod to you, and the elf says,
How is it going, Lokag?
Pretty good. Yourself, Jack?
Yeah, not too bad. That's being out here. I forgot my hat. I would love a hat like yours, but I've forgotten it somewhere. I'll have to go and get it on my lunch break. But being out in the sun, it's good for the skin. Do you need to see the boss?
Yeah. My brother's just taken a trip out of town on some business. I was just checking that the governor didn't have any work for me. Just checking in.
Your brother, he's come past before. The sheriff, he's gone and talked to the boss already. He's cleared everything up. The governor doesn't need anything really, unless something comes up. Then he'll send one of us to come and find you. But for the moment being, he's pretty content. Unless you've got something that you want to speak to him with. If that is the case, you can feel free to go inside.
No, I'm good. I'll see you around. Good luck getting your hat. If you're looking for me, I'll be down at the pub.
Yeah, of course. Oh, I would love to be there during the day. But
I'll drink one in your honor.
Thank you, my friend.
and the orc looks at you and he just grunts, nods to you. You make your way down the street. An old motel sign is sort of just flickering. You can just see the light because it's quite bright out here in the wastes. Walking up to the motel, you see a large sign. The sign is made of scrap wood and scrap metal and has been painted to say DA, Da, watering hole, and it's spelt completely wrong. You walk inside. There's been a bar set up in the motel where the sort of reception would be in a motel, and there's the lobby, all of these tables and chairs, and there's an auto piano playing off in the background, and you see Sketch, the town robot, and he's sitting at a table, very square-like chest. One arm is very rudimentary. It's got a ball joint with a little, almost looks like an old roadster wheel guard over the shoulder, with a very thin arm that pokes out with like a 4 pincer on the end. That's his left arm. On his right arm is this large military-grade robotic arm. And the robot's head, which looks kind of humanoid, like it's got a big square jaw, but then a very humanoid top head with these perfectly circle black glass eyes. And somebody has gone and put a trucker hat on him, and he looks over towards you, his head twitching, lifting up his big mechanical hand, and he says, "Deputy, over here!" And he waves you forward. The bartender waves to you and says, "Lokag, how you going?"
Yeah, right. Yourself, Hugo?
"Yeah, pretty good. You want the usual, mate?"
Yeah, damn straight. And I put 6 pistol bullets on the table.
I'll have someone bring it over.
Cheers, mate.
And you sitting at the table with Sketch?
Yeah, I walk over Sketch.
Lokag, how are you, my friend?
Alright, yourself, Sketch?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking me that. Would you mind partaking in a little more arm wrestling today, Lokag?
Don't you know it, Sketch?
One of these days, I will beat you, my friend. One of these days.
Yeah, I didn't think robots could dream, but you prove it.
Dream? Some people say I have nightmares. Ha 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 ha. That is a joke, of course.
Yeah. Alright, what'll the bet be this time, Sketch? What are you gonna give me?
On my scavengers, I have found a few fantastic items. This one here is called a Sketch and Etch.
Is that like your baby?
I thought the same thing for a moment, but then I played with it, and in this red frame, if you turn these white knobs, there is a little graphite that moves around and you can make a picture. Watch.
And he takes his rudimentary claw arm and he just starts turning it while he's holding it with his big mechanical, like, military grade arm, and he draws like a perfect picture of the town, like from a distance.
See? It is pretty cool.
That's bloody amazing, Sketch. Is that how those made those TV vids that we find lying around?
I am not completely sure. I'll have to do some more research in the matter. I also found this.
And he pulls out this little box. It's like a light. It's got a big silvery white glass over the front of it. And he puts it down. He says,
I have charged it for approximately 3 hours, and it does this.
he presses a button on top of it, and it's a strobe. It just goes.
I feel like this might be very cool on the front of your vehicle.
My mouth drops. Yeah, alright. Yeah, that's great. Just, is there anything else? For that thing's... Yeah, I'll bid for that.
There is one more thing I found.
And he reaches down into the bag that he's been pulling things out of, and he pulls out like a round, brown, swirly poop, and he puts it down on the table.
Fake feces. I have read and researched. This was a common joke item found before all the bad things happened.
You found a poop.
It is made of rubber. You can place it on someone's car or doormat, and they will believe it is a real poop. It looks real, doesn't it?
I poke it. It's a poop. I sniff my finger. Doesn't smell like poop.
See, it is made of rubber. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, alright. I think you might need to keep your gag for someone else, but I'll definitely throw down for that strobe light.
Alright, now, if you win, you get the strobe. What do I get if I win?
What? If you beat me, you got to tell everyone in town that you beat Lokag in an arm wrestle.
That is fair. I agree.
And he puts out his rudimentary hand to shake, and he's like, "Sorry," and he puts out his military grade arm to shake.
I shake him.
He grips pretty hard, and he shakes. And some of the other guests sort of like wander over and watch, and Tabaxi wanders over, bringing your drink, placing it on the table, and crosses their arms, watching you as you're about to do this arm wrestle.
Oi, Tabby, check it out. I'm gonna win myself a strobe light. It's gonna look sweet.
I wish that you would not call me Tabby all the time. I understand that I have the same colorings as a tabby cat, but my name is Peru. Please, you may call me Peru.
Alright, Peru. Tabby's better though, but alright.
So do you want to... What are you doing? You're going to drink or you're going to arm wrestle?
I drink first.
So you pick up this huge steel flagon, you tip it back, and in a matter of moments, it is gone, and all that is left is a goatee of froth around your mouth.
Oh, alright, Sketch. Let's do this.
Sketch lifts up his arm, places it on the steel table.
I do the same?
Your steel arm?
Oh, sure.
All right, you grip him in his hand, and you guys are holding it in clasped together. Your muscles are bulging, rippling. His robotic arm is sort of like pieces of it are like clicking and moving around, and the plates are shifting, and then a goblin counts you down. 1, 2, 3, go! Roll a strength check for me.
14.
Lucky, because I got a... what is that? 12. Okay. So you're straining back and forward, and you almost get him down to the table. Both of you are like struggling and vibrating and you're sweating. He's just looking straight at you like nothing's going on. His body is moving though. Can you roll another strength for me? Oh, I can help. I rolled the same. 12.
I rolled worse. I got 9.
Oh, he shifts, whoosh, pushes you incredibly hard. Your hand is almost touching the table. You can feel the hairs on the back of your hand just prickling the edge or the top of the table. One more time. Fucking rolled really bad again. I got 10. You're both there in a grip. It lasts for minutes. Both of you are struggling, pushing against it. And then you're staring at each other, and Sketch says,
It seems we are at a stalemate. Do you want to continue, or would you like to call it a draw?
Keep going, Sketch.
alright,
We've got to finish this. So I got an 18.
I got a 13. You slam his hand to the table. Huge crash. All the people who weren't watching turn and look over their shoulder to see what is going on. The crowd around you, there maybe 6 or 7 people, are cheering, and you hear them shouting your name. Sketch looks at his hand, sort of flexes the 4 fingers.
Very well, Lokag. Congratulations. You have won. You've bested me once again. Here is your prize.
And he slides over the strobe light.
Cheers, Sketch. You're an absolute machine this time. Have you got some more muscle augments? You can tell everyone. You got the arm hairs down on that table.
I have been trying to find new ways of becoming stronger.
Well, it's working. Oh, Tabby, give me another drink. Sketch, you want anything?
My name is Peru. I will...
Yeah, Peru, give me a drink.
All right. They walk back over to the counter and fill up another mug, wander back over to you. Lokag, you are driving out to the scrapyard on the outskirts of town. You've just driven out of basically the main entryway to the town, because it sort of sits in this little section of the canyons, and you've taken a big left turn, and you can just see a large windmill that is sort of at the back of the scrapyard. First off, what are you driving?
I've got an off-road four-wheeler. So like big, chunky tyres. It's painted with a black spray paint, and it's just a real chunky off-road four-wheeler.
So
I fit on it, but only just.
Is it like a four-wheeler bike, or like a four-wheeler like beach buggy sort of thing? Or
More like a beach buggy, but kind of think of like a giant turtle riding a go-kart, or a giant monkey riding a go-kart.
alright, okay, cool. Alright, so you're driving okay, cool. You're driving a giant go-kart with huge off-road wheels on it. Nice. Kind of like that what is it called? Mario Kart?
Yeah, like that one.
Okay.
With a Danky Kang.
Sonic Team Racing. Yeah, like that too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. Also Crash Bandicoot Racing. That anyway, let's continue. So you're driving this go-kart that you barely fit in with these huge off-road wheels. It's got these big exhaust pipes, all this black diesel smoke is billowing out of it. You're drifting around this corner across the red, orangey dirt road, sending gravel flying. You come to the makeshift sort of steel walls that are made out of shipping containers and stuff of the scrapyard, and drive in. There are cars stacked upon each other, all rusted out and broken. There's old helicopters and bits of planes and engines and these large cranes holding parts of strange glowing turbines and stuff. And underneath one of the turbines in this hangar is somebody who you admire, not just for her strength and her agility and her looks and her brawn, but for her skill in fixing, building, and being one of the most handy hands the town has to offer.
Before I get to her, I'm going to stop by a car window that looks like it's a bit mirror reflective, and I'm going to take off my riding goggles and kind of look disapprovingly at my reddish, dusty face. And I kind of just spit in my hand and try and smear a bit away from my face.
Yeah.
Making it worse, but trying to make it better.
All right. Nice. You're looking in this glass window that's covered in a dust. You like swoosh it away, then you see your dust on your face and you wipe it. And then in the reflection, you notice the large bull drake behind you. Her junkyard dog, if you will. Picture a bulldog mixed with maybe some sort of dragon without wings. It's chunky. It's got these big jowls. It's got these little horns and these ears that sort of sit like flap down like a bulldog's ears. These large tusks that sort of come out of its bottom jaw, scaled, with a patch of fur that runs down the back of its head, halfway down its back, and then a little tuft on the end of its little spiky tail. And it's like, and he licks you up on the face, cleaning off most of that dirt that you didn't quite get off, but leaving a lot of saliva.
I smiled, wiped the saliva, patted on his head. Docker, good dog, how you been?
Rucka. And he sort of like runs off towards the hangar and stops, sort of spins in a circle, thudding in the ground, leaving some big footprints, because he's pretty big. Like, he would probably be about maybe 5 foot tall off the ground. He's a big boy.
That's very big.
Yeah. He runs back over to the hangar and starts rucka. And Nanu slides out from underneath the turbine, sits up, pulls off the welding goggles, and sets them on her forehead. She is also a Goliath. Not as tall as you, but still pretty tall. Like, you're taller than Dune. She's probably a little bit shorter than him. She stands up, placing her hands on her waist. She's wearing these sort of green overalls. She's got the markings like Goliaths do, but then she also has tattoos down one side of her arm. She tucks the welding torch in her pocket, and she says, "What are you doing here?"
Oh, no. Just thought you might need some new help from the new sheriff in town. And I proudly brandish my hat.
The new sheriff?
Yeah. Dune's out of town for a bit, and he needed someone respectable and capable to fill his shoes.
And he gave you a star, huh?
Yeah, of course he did.
That's, you know what? Congratulations, Lokag. That is wonderful news. Come on in. Would you like some tea?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, that'd be right.
Too bad. I don't have any.
Hey?
I don't have any.
Oh,
I've got moonshine. That's all I've got. She walks over to the fridge, opens it up. This old mint green fridge, opens up the freezer compartment, pulls out this huge bottle with, like, those junk bottles with the handle.
Yeah.
Swings it over her shoulder, walks, pulls out like they look like piston caps or something. She gets a rag from her pocket and sort of cleans the oil out of them, and then just quickly pours in the stuff and passes one to you. She tips it back.
I tip mine back. Nanu, you know me so well.
Well, once somebody comes around here and continuously asks if you want help, you get to know them.
Yeah, you do. Do you need any help?
Actually, I kind of do. See that? She points over to this large engine. I need a coupling to be connected to this turbine. From the turbine to that, points to this large block of batteries. I need to see if I can get this combustion engine to kick up enough energy to start the turbine, so the turbine can charge those deep cycle batteries.
Yeah.
Basically, what I need you to do is hold the couplings in, because the engine is moving around too much. I haven't had enough time to build a frame that can hold it still enough. Because that
I can do.
It's from a ZX-88-3, one of those big ships. It's from one of those. So if you can hold it still for me, and it can charge up enough to power this and power those and charge them. All right?
Yeah, no worries. You know I got that, Nanu.
All right. Well, she walks over to the engine. She twists something. She checks the oil, puts it back in. She twists something else. Some sort of pressure is released. All right. When I turn this, it's going to start. I need you to hold it as still as you can. All right?
Right.
Ready?
Yeah.
She turns it. Roll a strength or athletics, whichever is better.
Yeah, athletics. Oh, nice. 22.
Nice. This engine kicks up and roars, and it's one of the loudest things you've heard. this blue sort of flame starts to burst out the back of it in these large sort of exhaust ports, and it starts to vibrate and rattle around, and it's in a small sort of frame that's bolted into the floor, but you see the bolts start to rattle up and the washers start to move and shift, and you push it down onto the ground and hold it still. She's like, perfect! She runs over to the turbine as the coupling starts to like shake and vibrate, and she like holds the coupling into the turbine, and she clicks something to sort of ratchet it in place, and the turbine starts to spin, and all of these other couplings and cables run to these batteries, and you see this blue thrumming energy vroom, 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 start to run and pass through these cables running to the batteries. And some of the batteries spark, and she runs over there and sprays it with this small fire extinguisher. She pats it out as the others, you see like these little bars on them start to fill very slowly. She's like, all right, she's yelling across the hangar.
This is gonna take a few minutes. Can you hold it there for me?
Yeah, no worries.
All of this black fumes and this heat radiating from this engine. Can you roll a tolerance check for me?
Yep. I've got an 18.
That's still pretty good. It's a pass, definitely a pass. Okay, and just for the listeners, tolerance is something that I've added into our homebrew 5th edition. It's kind of like if you can tolerate certain drugs or chemicals or fumes or, the things of those sort of chemical nature. It's kind of like the 4th edition endurance in a way, but I thought it would be something that is appropriate for a cyberpunk setting to, if you take some sort of random chemical injection that is said to power you up, you roll an endurance check. Sorry, not endurance check, a tolerance check, because it used to be endurance, now tolerance. So, 18 is a pass. All of these fumes and this energy and heat is radiating off of this engine. It's going harder and harder and harder, and she says, all right, press the red button on the side.
I smack it with my left hand.
Boom, the engine whoosh, clicks off. The couplings and the cables that connect to the turbine stop shaking like wild snakes, and the turbine slowly spins to a halt. She's checking the batteries. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. These will bring in a crap ton of bullets for me. If I can sell these to travelers or caravans or people from the town to power their cars and bikes and such, it's going to be great. We don't have to rely so much on diesel.
No worries, Nano. Just glad to be a help.
You hear another engine in the distance, and this ute speeds up, grinding to a halt. Ducker is jumping around and barking. A local scavenger jumps out of the car, these big goggles and this like a flight helmet on. He's got this big vest of all this junk and tools hanging off, and the back of the ute is piled up 3 times the size of the ute with all of this random scrap metal and old couches and lamps and all this random junk. And he runs up. Nanu! Oh, hey, Lokag. Lokag, actually, perfect person to talk to. So I was out doing my thing. I was stopped behind some of the cropping out there, behind some of the rocks, and I luckily my engine was turned off. I was just packing up my load, and I heard something. I heard engines, a lot of them, and I looked over the dunes out there, and I saw trails of black smoke.
Raiders?
Yes, I reckon they're raiders. Red flags on all of the bikes. They're all yelping and hooting. That luckily they went past the entrance to the town. They didn't notice. This way the valley. I followed them, and I can see them kept up in one of the old monuments. They're stopped there for now. They're making camp. I don't know if they're raiders. I don't know what they're capable of. What do you reckon we should check it out?
How many were there? Did you see any clan signs?
I didn't see any clans. I'm a bit worried.
Yeah. We'd have to check it out. Oh, Nano, you got anything quiet? quieter than my four-wheeler?
I've got something I've been working on. It's powered by a fan, but it's still quite loud. Not as loud as an engine, but it's a big fan that pushes it.
If it's quieter than an engine, we'll need it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely quieter than a diesel engine. That's why hopefully if I can get these batteries working in vehicles, we'll have a relatively quiet vehicle to drive around on a rechargeable battery. Go get Tenzin. If you can get Tenzin, he can help you drive it. He just came past here the other day making sure everything was alright. You'll need 2 people to drive this. And she goes to the back of the hangar and she pulls off a big leather tarp-like sheet and throws it on the floor. And it looks like a boat, but it's got 2 wheels on the front, 2 wheels in the middle, 2 wheels on the back, all with big sort of shock absorbers. There's a huge fan on the back of it, and a very rudimentary steering wheel. It looks like a H steering wheel, maybe from like a Dodgem car. It's very small and plastic. She says, "You've got the wheels that will all turn with the steering wheel, but the fan, if you need to turn drastically, someone will need to actually move it with this." And there's a big sort of pole that's sticking out the sort of the back of the fan pointing in towards the vehicle. I haven't been able to do much on it. The fan will start, the wheels will roll, and it goes pretty quick, but you'll need 2 people.
I should actually duck into town first and pick up me mate.
Oh, call him.
Tell him to bring me shotgun.
All right. She runs over, grabs the phone off this like this old telephone thing, turns the dial, has it next to her ear for a little while. Tenzin. All right. Possibly raiders nearby me. Lokag is here. Can you get yourself down here ASAP? And yep, of course. Yes, he was going to ask you to bring the shotgun. Yes. No, I do not have a ray gun for you. There's no such thing as a ray gun. Okay, just hurry. She hangs up. He's on his way. All right. Help me pull this out. And she pulls it out. She starts getting it ready, making sure that the wheels are on completely tight. And you see Tenzin riding in on his motorbike. This Harley that oddly looks a bit too big for him because he's a halfling. His hair is tied up in a top knot, but it's really bushy. So it's like a top knot and then this big bush above it. And he's wearing aviators. He's got like a little pointed sort of chin beard and a mustache. Shotgun on his back. 2 shotguns on his back. Riding up, and he stops to a halt.
Lokag! Hey up, mate. What's going on? Where are these fucking raiders? Let's blast them.
And he pumps his shotgun.
We chuck it in.
He throws it.
I catch it. Pluck it out of the air. They're about.
Mate, I brought this for you too.
Walks over to the Harley. Tries to pull on this large pole, and you realise that he's packed you one of your favourite hammers.
Oh, nice, Tenzin. You know me too well too. All right, let's get this into the what do you call this? Fan machine. Fan boat. Boat fan.
Perfect. I haven't given it a name. Boat fan. Fan boat. I don't know.
One of them will stick.
Yep. You pick up your hammer, and it's a huge, massive anvil. It's like an anvil on a stick.
Yep.
It's been painted black and yellow stripes, and on the sides of the anvil, it says "ouch," and the other side says "smash." In like graffiti writing. Like a teal on the other side is like pink.
All right, mate. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's not fuss around here.
He jumps in the fan boat and he's like, "Are you driving or am I gonna turn this fan thingy?"
I'll drive. You're on the fan. Boy, ute, bro. Show us where the tracks were. Just point them out. We'll figure it out.
All right. Gets in his ute and reverses up. Takes off towards the outcropping where he was. You guys follow him in the fan boat, which is really bumpy, and it feels like what you have heard and seen on old tapes is very rocky, like being at sea, because of the wheels are so bouncy. These 6 wheels on this fan boat thing. You make it out to the outcropping, and he points the guy on the ute, the scavenger, points out towards one of the old monuments, is what he called it. It looks like some sort of amphitheater that's broken and has fallen to pieces. All of these old rows of like bleachers, just all the metal painted white is all peeled, and he passes the binoculars over to you. You look through them, and you can see all of these big, massive, like monster truck wheeled trikes. Like the back wheels are monster truck wheels, and then it's a normal motorbike wheel at the front. There are big Harleys with huge handlebars with like big blades on the side of them. These huge red flags and ribbons that are hanging off the back of like big flag poles and aerials and stuff. They have symbols on them, and you see these like some cars and buggies and stuff with spikes and all of these skulls like smashed onto them, and you know it's a raiders party. You hear like metal off in the background and a big bonfire. Sun is not setting, like it's not nighttime, but it's in the late afternoon.
Like an hour, 2 hours, or half an hour?
Yeah, 2 hours or so.
Yep.
It won't take that long to get there. Maybe take 10 minutes to drive down there.
Is the sun behind us?
Odds or evens?
Evens.
The sun is behind you.
Nice. I think that works.
Alright, okay. Let's go down there. Maybe if we can blast this fan as fast as we can, fly down the hill, and glide ourselves in.
They won't hear us coming, and with the sun behind us, they shouldn't see us.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So you gear up, turn the fan on, you start to blast your way across the hill until you get to a peak of it. When you roll down, sort of within a few minutes of the camp, turning the fan off, and you glide in. All right. So I rolled like stealth for your vehicle. And Tenzin, can you roll stealth just to see how quiet you are as a person while you're steering and stuff?
So Lokag got a 13 as stealth.
Nice. You all got above 10, which is good. Oh, I've rolled a big old 1 for their lookouts. So you see on top of like a bus with these huge wheels that are sticking out the side of it, there's like a guy on there, and there's like a picket fence on the top of it that's painted so it looks like blood around the spikes of the picket fence, and there's like torches on each corners of this square picket fence on top of the bus, and he's holding like a machine gun of some sort, looking around, and you hear someone say to him as you're gliding in, you hear someone say to him,
Oi, man, you want like a beer or something?
and he's like,
I would love a beer or something. Please, thank you.
and you see a bottle fly up to him, and he cracks it, and as he's drinking it, you guys glide past, and you slow the fan boat to a stop. You climb out, you and Tenzin. What are you doing?
Wait, so we're in the compound already?
Yeah, you just so the bus was on like the outskirts where all the vehicles are parked, and then like there's all the people in the middle around this big bonfire, and you're like right near the vehicles.
Alright, I think my logic is I'm gonna find the biggest guy that I can find. I'm gonna take out the chieftain first. How many guys are there actually?
Like 25. It's a lot of dudes.
Yeah, Jensen. Hey, Lokag, I can see what you're thinking, and I don't believe that is a good idea.
I could take 20 easy enough.
And I could easily take the other 5, but I don't believe that that's the best idea. What about...
And he points over to this large ute, and on the back of it, there are all of these red barrels.
What if we siphon a little bit of fuel out of all of their vehicles, all the diesel on the ground, and set fire to that stack of beautiful diesel barrels?
Tenzin, you are too smart to be a deputy. That is a great idea.
And then, if you want, we can smash some heads.
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right. So he pulls like a tube, like a pipe tube, out of his like rucksack, his bag, places it in some of the vehicles. And 17, nice. Begins ciphering some of the fuel out, and he lets it like dribble on the ground, on the hard earth. Here. And he passes a blowtorch to you.
Send these suckers sky high.
Yeah.
You see these dark trails of diesel that have been siphoned all over the floor by Tenzin in a trail.
I'm going to hold on to my warhammer and just have a few shakes as I start lifting it up and going, oh, go with the warhammer. God, and I put it down, I pat my hand. Like, no, not today. So I reckon we get the fan going. 20 guys is possibly a bit much to come out unscathed, especially with the whole town in my care today.
All right. What are you gonna do? You gonna light it and then jump into the fan, or what are you doing?
Get the fan going. He can get the fan going. I'm gonna light it and jump in.
He pulls the string on the fan. The fan starts to speed up. You hear, what is that? What's that? What the frig is that? You see here are these people shouting. You turn the blowtorch on. What are you doing?
Well, unless I can throw it, I'm putting it down to the diesel flame, the fuel line.
You put it down to the diesel. It lights. It's traveling pretty quick, but not quick enough. So you just throw it as hard as you can into all of the red diesel barrels on the back of that ute. And it hits them, which some of them have been opened by Tenzin. And it just goes... explodes into the air. The channels or the little rivers of diesel that was being siphoned out of the other cars, they all catch, hitting the cars. Boom, 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 boom. All these vehicles start to go up in flames, all exploding and chain reaction exploding to the next one and continuing. You see the guy on top of the bus jump off, and he starts to run towards the explosions, and he sees you. And the fan boat starts to take off, and he drops his light machine gun on the ground as he's like in confusion, and he sees you with the warhammer. He pulls free a huge machete and starts to charge towards you, this human.
He's in my way, so I'm going to charge towards him as well.
The fan boat is slowly taking off. You run next to him, next to the fan boat, towards this guy. Make an attack for me.
That's an 8.
An 8?
Oh no, 20. Plus that. It's not, yeah.
So, does a 23 hit your AC, first off?
Ooh, yes it does.
He throws this machete. It slashes you on the shoulder. You continue charging in with the 20. You lift the hammer up, and what do?
I'm going to swing it like horizontally down, shoulder to hip.
You hear a huge crunch and a squeak. He doesn't yell or cry out, he just squeaks as you bust in his arm, his chest. You see like basically his head and his shoulder connect after your huge anvil of a hammer makes its way past and through his chest. Collapses to the ground as blood starts to darken the sand around the ground. Tenzin yells out, "Come on!" You jump into the boat as the fan pushes it uphill. Your steering, bullets start whizzing overhead as you look back as you're steering away. So the remaining raiders, not many of them are left. A lot are burning and running out away from the explosions. The rest are firing machine guns and assault rifles and blasting shotguns at you. You make it up the hill, down the other side, back towards the town. And that is where we'll end it.
Nice.
Hey everyone, thanks for downloading the show and thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for being my friend and thank you for, just being a strong-willed person and waving a sword around in public. Actually, don't do that, please. Now, due to the random and difficult time, this time is in 2020, and because of people's work circumstances changing, we have been finding it a little difficult to get together and record an episode altogether. So what we're doing is some individual episodes over the next few releases. You will find episodes centered around a particular character. This one obviously being centered around Lokag, the new character that Levi is playing. We're introducing him to the show. We wanted to throw some background in so we'd understand who this guy is, where he came from, all that sort of thing. Anyway, some other things we have to say. Check out our Instagram at Beyond the Dice. You can find us on Facebook. Just search Beyond the Dice. You'll find us there. We have a YouTube channel. If you want to listen to the episodes there, you definitely can. What else do we have? Oh, we have a store. I know it can be very difficult, especially this time. With everything that's going on. We have a store if you do want to buy a t-shirt or a singlet or something like that, that if you go to our website you'll be able to find a link to our store there, or if you go to beyondthedice.theprintbar.com you will find all different types of merchandise. It's not just podcast related stuff, it is RPG and D&D related stuff too. We've tried to make it sort of diverse for everyone. If you can't buy a t-shirt or anything, that is fine, absolutely fine. But yeah, once again, don't feel too obligated to do so. I think that's all we have for now. If there's any further information, like if we're not going to be able to make episodes or something due to the wild stuff that's going on, just we'll post it and stay safe, guys.